Alright folks, welcome back. One of the last things in the fifth video here I want to show you as far as the Apex learning system is concerned is how to submit assignments. Now you're going to find throughout many of your courses, again as we pointed out earlier, there are practice journals, explore activities, you might have PE logs or commitment statements, again a plethora of written assignments. As we pointed out, a majority of your work is going to be quizzes, but it is important to me for us to discuss how to submit journals, practices, explores. So let's go back into that economics course. We had talked in the previous video that we needed to get that 1.4.2 journal done before we asked for a test bypass. So if you click that 45%, you can see a glaring hole there in your activity scores report that there's a journal in Unit 1 that we've got to finish. Again, scrolling down, once we get into Unit 2, there's going to be a practice. If you want to kind of know more what they're about, the journal's technology and you. In Unit 2, you've got to practice playing your part. You make the call. Again, these are just headings. Unit 3, there's going to be a journal, a practice. So again, these all need to be completed within the unit before you not only get a test bypass, but also when you decide to take the test, all that, what we would call written work, needs to be done. And let's chat a little bit about that written work. So we highly recommend you do all the written work in a Google Doc. And that's what we're going to kind of do today, is we're going to go into these journals, open them up, copy and paste those things into a new Google Doc. And what's great about Google Docs, as you probably are well familiar, is they are live documents that we can comment on. We can, you can share with us that teachers can comment on. You can save, kind of use as tools to study and prepare for not only quizzes but tests and exams. So let's go into the economics course, and let's get back to the homepage. And we don't really want to push the play button in this instance, because that's going to drop us off into 2. We want to go into this little index here, and we know it's in Unit 1. Specifically, it's in Unit 1.4, Section 1.4, so Technology and Us. So, with that said, we want to go previous here. So we got a journal, and so we got 142 journal. So let's resume this journal. So here's kind of the steps. Follow me here if you can. If you go into the journal, it's going to open up in a separate page. And once you're into this journal, I want to warn you, when you paste and copy these things, they can be a little finicky, okay? But what's important here is if you scroll down here and you copy the 4 questions, again, you can Control C or you can copy it. And then what you want to do is you want to go in here up to a Google Drive, and we're going to again set you up with those Google Drive accounts in the next part of this orientation. But again, you just click New, you click Google Docs, and some important things you want to do. First thing you're going to want to do is paste in what you got, which is going to be a Control V, or again, you can right click and you can click Paste if you'd like. And what I'm going to do, some very important things. You might type in Econ 1.4.2, and then you might put in your name. We're going to go Dougie Fresh on this. So, some important things here. You might be asking yourself, why didn't you copy and paste from the beginning? We'll go back here. Why did you not copy and paste this top part? Well, before I made this video, I tried to copy all this. Select it all and copy it. It just didn't copy over right. So again, you're going to have to play with it a little bit. But nonetheless, I've created a document here. So what's the important part here? Very important, again, where it says untitled document up here. You're going to rename this and be very specific. The more specific, the better. Again, you're going to want to name that economics, 1.4.2 journal. Okay. Another thing we're going to do that's very important before we go and answer this is when we go to share, you'll notice here who do you want to share this with, but more importantly this advanced tab, and you're probably familiar with Google Docs. Again, I highly recommend you turn this on to public, okay? That's number 1. Number 2, you're going to want to share this with your teacher, Okay. In this instance, it might be me. Okay, so and all the emails will be published here. It's Doug Hicks at kentisd.org. Okay. Obviously, I'm creating this in my own, so I may just send this to myself or my own personal email. So I'll just do douglas.hicks2@gmail.com. This is just one example. And again, you want to give me editing rights. Here's the most important part. Give myself editing rights, okay? Can edit. That's very, very important. And then you're going to want to send that, okay? Yes, we are sure. Done. So again, one more time, you're going to go to the Share tab. You always go to the Advanced. Please try to make that public if you can. That'll help, especially with technology permissions. When you type in the email, make sure, obviously I'm creating this from my work email and sending it to my personal email, but again, you want to make sure we can edit so we can make comments. As for the journal itself, the information from this journal, so we're going to kind of go back and forth here. You've got this journal sitting in a live doc, but let's go back to the course here. Specifically, let's go back to the home. So if it's going to be information from 1.4, we can go back here, and this journal in 1.4, this study section may discuss topics for 1.4, okay? So information that you might need to get. But you'll notice in this journal right here, the 1.4.2 journal, I'm just going to kind of scroll back up here, it's really just your personal opinion and you kind of just working through specifically what technologies are important to you, you kind of breaking down the costs and benefits. But when you respond, it'd be really, really neat if you did it in red. So, maybe what technologies. Try to respond in complete sentences, but, again, answering is the most important. You might type in technologies, that are important, to me, are cell phones, computers, Uber, the World Wide Web, etc., etc. Be as specific as possible. And again, which ones maybe are more important? Maybe you type in that I think that cell phones are more important because they help make life easier. Yada yada yada. Again, you answer these all in red. Okay, and then you've obviously already shared it with them. Now the next thing you might want to do, again, I already get this to my email, but again, if you want to go one step further and stamp this into the gradebook, up here is a link. You can click the link there, or you can go to share, and you can actually copy the link right here. Just click copy link. Okay, and what you'll do is you would send that link through the Apex message system. So again, let's go back here. And this is kind of a lot to take in here, but again, you would message this to me. So you'd say, okay, well, this is going to go to Mr. Hicks, and this is the Econ 1.4.2 journal, and then you might say, attached is my 1.4.2 journal. Okay? And then you might just go boom, and what you do is you copy the link right in. Okay, you can copy it like this. I push Control V. Okay, this is the important part that's going to stamp it into the gradebook. You click Submit Homework. You select the course. In this instance, it's Economics, and the activity is going to be the 142 journal. And really, attaching a file is pretty obsolete now, unless you do it in a Word document and you want to attach a file. But again, you've already got the link to your Google Doc up here. But again, you will just send that, and that'll go directly to my email, A, and B, it's going to be stamped into the gradebook. I want to show you it's also stamped in on your side, which is kind of neat as well, and I'll show you that right now. If you go down to Economics, my phone just vibrated because I got that message. What do you know? You're down to one activity overdue. But let's click this real quick. You can see this 1.4.2 journal is now stamped. It's got a message, and at the 19th, it was submitted. Okay, I have not entered a grade yet for it, and when I enter a grade, I'm going to again. Not only put it in the gradebook, but my goal is just to comment in your document because you made it public for me to comment and edit, and also send you back feedback to your Gmail accounts. And you'd probably get feedback as well to your Apex accounts. I really like the Gmail accounts because you will get the videos, links, and things I send back. Apex is not as reliable as a system as far as messaging is concerned. The one benefit you can see is, though, with Apex messaging, it does stamp it into the gradebook and counts as a completed assignment, whether it's graded or not, which is kind of neat. So there is that, and that is how you would kind of submit homework. And again, you'll see comments in the docs and edited, and you're also going to have this in the cloud that you would never lose. So again, this is the same way with practices, journals. You might have commitment statements or PE logs for your PE courses that need to be kept. But again, the best way to do this is going to be through Google Drive. So I hope that helps you out.